Krohun Gaming.
What's up guys, Krohun here again, bringing you the 5th episode where I talk about talents and stuff. This is the 5th tier. This one is actually another competitive one, but only with 2 spells. Now let's see if you can guess. Just, feel free to type in the comments now. Which ones are the competitive ones? I wonder which ones you think are the competitive ones and which aren't. And, now that you've wrote them down, hopefully, give you a second more, I will talk about it. Basically, the competitive ones are healing elixirs and diffuse magic. Now, I didn't troll you with the healing elixirs thing and having the talent over healing elixirs this whole time. It's actually healing elixirs because dampen harm doesn't actually activate in PvP. And you might be like, oh yeah, it does. No, it don't. Like, it really doesn't. Like, you will not get those 3 charges. They will not be used. It's a waste of time. It's actually really sad. Basically, every spell has to hit for, about 70k plus, more than 70k normally. And if you actually think about it, 70k, most spells don't come through at that amount of damage. Like, it'll be like 66k like on a big hit for normal stuff, even when cooldowns are up. And so 3 of those hits being halved, so 70, let's say they hit 70k, whatever, they do hit 70k, that dropping down to 35k. Yeah, it's not worth it. Seems you could have every 18 seconds a 15% of your health. So, like, it just as a sustainability thing, you're going to stay up a lot easier with healing elixirs up. And I just don't understand why you want to take dampen harm. Like, it just doesn't proc it anyway. You can go test it yourself. I'm not going to go into explain to you why dampen harm doesn't proc. I'm going to explain to you which I take. Healing elixirs or diffuse magic, and against which comps. Take healing elixirs against pretty much most melee cleave teams. But diffuse magic, there are some teams where I take against where it's like 50-50, but most of the time I take healing elixirs. So anything that has a magical root, so frost mage, shadow priest, whatever, I always take diffuse magic against them so I can remove that from me, so I have another root removal. And that helps really so much. But if it's a double caster team, I take diffuse magic regardless. Healing elixirs I take against anyone else though, so if it was like, I can't even think of a caster that doesn't have a root. A warlock, right? So there's a warlock on the team and a warrior. I'll take healing elixirs over diffuse magic, just so I get the heal and stuff off healing elixirs, and it doesn't matter so much with diffuse magic, like the reflected, I don't need to reflect anything that, like, unless it's an affliction lock, and I might want to take it just to reflect the dots because we're going on the affliction lock or something, but it depends on the comp and stuff. Shadow priest, you must take diffuse magic because you reflect like all of their dots on them, and then you just go on the shadow priest, so they've got a full set of their dots. They've just lost the root on you, like it just creates a load of pressure on them, and you just do a ton of damage to them. It's pretty good against affliction locks, the same as that. Also, you can reflect frostbomb, and that works out really, really well, especially if you have a mage on your team, because they still gain the crit, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure that you do. I did play with a mage for like a day or something, and it seemed like I reflected a diffuse magic and the frostbomb crit for a pretty big number, considering I'm not a mage. So I don't know, maybe it was just luck with a crit or something, who knows. So yeah, you have those options, and I'd say just remember, like, in the sense, like, you have healing elixirs against melee heavy teams, diffuse magic against people that have magical roots, and otherwise it's against double caster teams, and if they're a mix, tend to stick to healing elixirs, mostly because you have energizing brew, you have fortifying brew, you have tiger eye brew if you really have to, or if you're like, you want to counter pressure, which tends to work really well. Just a lot of people don't think about it, and then you also have like nimble brew as well, but energizing brew is your biggest healing output thing apart from fort brew, because you can energizing brew, healing spheres yourself, and then your energy will fill itself back up to get another healing sphere off. So you, instead of having 3, you have a 4, but like the last one takes a little while to get out, which is kind of annoying. But it does actually help a lot. You can get 3 in a row, whereas normally you can only get 2, and then you got to wait a second, and then you get the 3rd. Instead, you can get 4 in a similar situation. Just like adds 1 healing sphere into your situation. And healing sphere heals for quite a lot for us, or it feels it does anyway. Maybe it doesn't for you. Don't actually know. Mine feels like it heals for quite a lot in my gear right now. And then also you can get the healing elixirs buff as well, so 15% of your health on top of that. Also, it makes Fortifying Brew actually feel like a big number as well. So I would say always stick to those two. Like I said, for them to fix Stamp and Harm, they'd need to change it a lot, and they're not going to do it because they changed it for tanking and PvE. And realistically, they shouldn't have. They should make it fucking viable for both. Because, you know, they said they like to have everything viable for everyone in a way. And they are avoiding that massively, and it's retarded. So, there you go. And I guess this is the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to stick around for the next one. It won't be long far away. Feel free to subscribe so you get notified when that next video comes out. And I will see you again soon. Goodbye!